Welcome to the Past in Pictures channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. After the political crisis involving Monica Lewinsky, a photograph taken by Paparazzi showed Bill and Hillary Clinton embracing, a gesture many people saw as a public sign of reconciliation between the couple. The image was widely published at the time and gained international attention amid debates about the presidential scandal. Jane Fonda appears in a 1972 photograph seated next to North Vietnamese soldiers during a visit made in the middle of the Vietnam War. The image, taken in a setting with military equipment, triggered a strong public reaction and intense criticism in her home country. Michael Jackson caused major controversy in 2002 when he held his infant son over the balcony of a hotel in Berlin in front of fans gathered on the street. The gesture happened during a brief appearance at the window and sparked a strong international reaction. The episode led to debates about child safety and the behavior of public figures. The photo records the wedding of J. Howard Marshall II and Anna Nicole Smith, an event widely discussed because of the large age difference between the 89-year-old businessman and the 26-year-old model. The moment drew huge media attention in the United States. The marriage became one of the most remembered episodes involving public figures in the 1990s. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton were photographed in 1962 in a romantic relationship, while both were still married to other people, a situation that quickly drew worldwide attention. The affair began during the filming of Cleopatra, when they spent long periods together on the set. Hugh Grant had his booking photo released in 1995 after he was detained in Los Angeles in a personal incident that contrasted with his public image as a reserved and polite actor. The arrest quickly gained international attention and became front-page news in several countries. Paul Reubens had his booking photo released after he was detained in 1991, a fact that surprised fans used to the childlike and humorous image of his character, Pee Wee Herman. The episode received wide media coverage and directly affected his career at that time. Britney Spears was photographed hitting a paparazzo's car with an umbrella in 2007 on a night when her vehicle was surrounded by photographers in Los Angeles. The scene spread quickly and became a symbol of the intense pressure she was facing at that time. Charlie Sheen celebrated his departure from the series 2.5 Men by shouting, "Free at last," from the top of a building in Beverly Hills during a public appearance that made the news. At the time, he also referred to what he called tiger blood and spoke in a deliberately provocative tone. The gesture took place during the most turbulent period of his professional life, when his statements and behavior drew intense media attention. Kristen Stewart was photographed in 2012 in intimate moments with director Rupert Sanders, with whom she worked on Snow White and The Huntsman. The images taken by paparazzi were released quickly and caused a major stir in the international media. The affair led to the end of both of their relationships with their respective partners at the time. Ashton Kutcher was photographed in 2011 in the middle of an extramarital affair involving Sarah Lial, a situation that quickly gained media attention and affected his public image. The scandal contributed to the end of his marriage to Demi Moore and caused a strong reaction in Hollywood. After the episode, his presence in major productions decreased for a period. The only known photograph of Marilyn Monroe next to John Fitzgerald Kennedy was taken a few minutes after her famous performance of "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" in May 1962 at Madison Square Garden in New York City. The event celebrated the president's birthday during one of the most intense periods of North American political life. This photo recalls the episode in which Marilyn Monroe appeared on the first cover of a famous adult magazine, using images taken in 1949 that were reused years later. She received only $50 for the commercial use of those photos, an amount very far from the enormous impact the material eventually had. Among the first groups of models connected to Playboy magazine, Hugh Hefner appears, presenting the early phase of his publication. The project was launched with borrowed money and his personal savings, and Marilyn Monroe was on the cover of the first issue. The magazine sold out quickly and drew national attention. This advertisement, which is about 120 years old, is a rare artifact that shows how advertising was used in the late 19th century to attract clients to nighttime venues in a discreet yet suggestive way. The piece reveals details that were rarely shown about how these places operated at that time. This photo highlights Sophia Loren, an actress and singer who won awards at major film festivals around the world and received an honorary Academy Award. Her personal life also drew attention when Carlo Ponti obtained a divorce in order to marry her. The episode became a constant topic in the international press. Britney Spears and Madonna delivered a memorable performance on stage at the 2003 Video Music Awards in New York City that surprised both the audience and the international media. The moment took place during the opening of the show, which also featured Christina Aguilera and Missy Elliott, and it became one of the most talked about episodes in pop culture of the 2000s. In this photo taken in Los Angeles, in the United States, Marilyn Monroe appears during a 1957 photo session that became one of the most talked about of that time. The image shows the actress in a more relaxed moment than the usual standards imposed by the studios. The photo drew attention because it revealed a side of Hollywood that was less controlled behind the scenes. After Solange argued with Jay-Z inside an elevator amid rumors of infidelity, a photo taken shortly after the episode showed the trio Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and Solange leaving in silence with tense expressions. The image spread quickly around the world and became a symbol of how far the incident resonated. Britney Spears was photographed in May 2006, nearly letting her baby slip from her arms while getting out of a car, sparking debates about her personal life and making her the target of heavy criticism. The episode fueled discussions about her family routine and influenced custody disputes in the following years. Sean Penn is seen in 1986 in a confrontation with paparazzo Vinnie Zufante in New York City, in the United States of America, after he became angry with the photographer's persistence during a public outing. The moment ended up being captured by another professional who was at the scene. Paparazzi paid $230,000 for a photograph of Freddie Mercury during a meal in London, taken at a time when he was facing serious health problems and was already near the end of his life. The singer was trying to maintain his routine quietly while dealing with the illness away from the public eye. Photo booth pictures of Margot Robbie and Will Smith leaked in 2013 and quickly fueled rumors about how close the two were, even though both said they were only friends. The images were taken during a break in filming and showed relaxed poses typical of photo booth strips. A rare photograph shows Madonna, Sting, and Tupac Shakur sitting at the same table during a gathering in the early 1990s. The three of them together symbolize the convergence of pop, rock, and hip-hop in the same social setting. Few people knew at the time that Madonna and Tupac had a brief relationship before the rapper's death in 1996. John Lennon signed an autograph for Mark David Chapman on December 8, 1980, only a few hours before a tragic event at the door of his home in New York City. A photograph of that moment was taken as Lennon was leaving for a studio session. Chapman waited for his return to the Dakota Building, where the fatal episode took place later that night. Marilyn Monroe had X-rays taken in 1954 during an examination related to endometriosis, records that were released decades later and surprised many fans. Years after her death, these medical images were put up for auction and sold for $345,000, reflecting the enormous public interest in any item connected to the actress. Marilyn Monroe posed in 1954 on a studio set for a session considered daring at the time, done while she was filming Bus Stop. The production recreated characters typical of busy city streets for costume and expression studies, following the visual style of that era. Anita Ekberg was photographed in 1960 chasing paparazzi outside her home while carrying a bow and arrows, reacting to the constant invasions of privacy she faced. The scene took place during a period of huge media attention after her success in La Dolce Vita. Marlene Dietrich became involved in a confrontation with a photographer at a Paris airport after he tried to take an unapproved candid picture. While she reacted and tried to stop the shot, another paparazzo watching the scene managed to capture the entire moment. This photo shows Bettie Page in a 1950s photo session, a period when her provocative poses helped reshape pinup culture. The images drew attention because they challenged social rules about behavior and clothing. Her work circulated widely in magazines and illustrated cards. Bettie Page and model Johnny Wilson are seen celebrating National Hot Dog Day in a relaxed 1950s photograph that captures the typical energy of pinups of that era. They pose in a playful, lighthearted way, combining retro outfits with a simple backdrop. This style was common in sessions created for magazines and themed campaigns at the time. In this image, Brigitte Bardot appears in a pose that highlights the charm that helped make her one of the major faces of European cinema. The photograph appeared widely in magazines and fashion campaigns during the 1950s and 1960s. Bardot came to represent new ideas of style and female independence. Brigitte Bardot appears in a 1956 photograph at a time when she was already considered one of the leading French actresses and one of the biggest beauty icons in European cinema. She was living the height of her fame, driven by films that defined the decade and broadened her international profile. During the 1960s, women in countries in Europe and the Americas began to adopt the miniskirt as a way to challenge strict clothing rules. The style gained strength in cities such as London and Paris, pushed forward by designers and youth fashion. The reaction from schools, companies, and authorities led to public debate and attempts to restrict or ban its use. This photo shows Marilyn Monroe's police booking picture, taken on February 4, 1954, after she was detained for driving without a valid license in Los Angeles. The incident drew attention because it involved one of the most famous film actresses just as she was entering the most public phase of her career. The image circulated widely in newspapers and magazines of the time. The photo shows a postcard from the 1920s, printed with a provocative phrase used to attract public attention, typical of the bold humor of that decade. This kind of material circulated in European and American cities, reflecting changes in customs and advertising. Along with that, the image also recalls the first Soviet beauty contest held in 1988. The photo shows Rita Hayworth serving pies at the Hollywood Canteen in 1943, a venue created to provide meals and entertainment for service members during the Second World War. The place brought together major film stars who volunteered there. Images like this drew attention because they showed celebrities working directly for the public in uniform. The staged photo shows a model styled as Marilyn Monroe next to a performer imitating John Kennedy, produced during the period of cultural opening in the Soviet Union in the late 1980s. The image reflects the country's change in attitude toward public image, humor, and Western references. This photo refers to the 1927 accident involving Isadora Duncan, when her long scarf became caught in the spokes of the rear wheel of the car in which she was riding in Nice, France. The fabric was pulled violently and caused a fatal accident. The episode shocked the cultural world of that time. In this final session of 1962, Marilyn Monroe appears at 36 years old after recovering from a recent medical procedure. The photographer retouched her abdominal area at the actress's request, following studio practices that were common at the time. The photo shoot took place in the last months of her life and later gained a strong symbolic meaning. The photo shows Raquel Welch on the set of the film 1,000,000 Years Before Christ in 1966, a production remembered for the striking costume worn by the actress. The image captures the period when the studio promoted the film with a strong visual focus. This photo helped turn her into a symbol of international popularity. At a gala dinner in Los Angeles in the United States in 1957, Sophia Loren is seen looking at Jane Mansfield's neckline. The photo was taken during a promotional film event and became one of the most talked about images in Hollywood. The episode also marked the period in which Sophia was consolidating her presence in the North American film market. On the set of the film Barbarella, shot in Rome in 1968, Jane Fonda appears in one of the futuristic costumes that helped define the bold look of the production. The film mixed science fiction with strong personality and drew attention for its innovative visual style. The character marked the actress's career by giving her a role that explored visual freedom and a sense of space-themed fantasy. The photo shows Raquel Welch in 1970, when she was reaching the peak of her international fame and confirming her role as one of the strongest visual icons in film at that time. Her image influenced fashion, advertising, and magazines in many countries. The photo shows police officers restraining an ecstatic fan during the Beatles' visit to New York City in 1966. The moment reveals the intensity of the crowds that followed the band at airports, hotels, and on the city streets. This scene became a clear symbol of the height of what became known as Beatlemania. Marilyn Monroe responded to criticism that her beauty depended only on expensive clothes by posing in 1950 wearing a simple potato sack in a playful photo session. The image was created as an elegant joke and quickly caught the public's attention, showing that her presence in front of the camera did not depend on luxury. The photo shows a young woman in a training session for Black civil rights activists in the United States in the early 1960s. She practices staying calm while another person makes provocative gestures and blows cigarette smoke in her face, simulating the hostility she might encounter at protests. These exercises were part of the preparation for nonviolent actions. The photo shows the first Soviet beauty pageant held in 1988, an event that drew attention because it broke with the strict traditions of the Soviet Union. The competition brought together young women from several regions of the country in the middle of the political changes of the era of openness. Many people saw it as a sign of cultural transformation. An old photograph of Madonna circulated widely and drew attention because it highlighted the veins in her arms noticed by many viewers around the world. The image spread quickly and sparked discussions about lighting, age, and the way celebrities are captured in photographs. This photo shows Betty Bjurström, a Swedish actress who was often mistaken for Marilyn Monroe because of her light hair and period style. The image draws attention because it reinforces that resemblance, which frequently sparked comments among photographers and fans. This photo shows Sharon Stone in 1983, still at the beginning of her modeling career, years before she appeared in the film Basic Instinct. The image reveals common experiments of that period, including a small device used to create dimples on her face during photo sessions. These early shoots helped shape her public image before her move into film. This photo shows the early modeling career of Sharon Stone in 1983, when she was trying different accessories used in photo shoots. On her face, there's a small device designed to create dimples that were considered elegant and inspired by the style of Marlene Dietrich. Equipment like this was common in fashion studios at the time. Gregory Peck is shown receiving a kiss during the filming of Spellbound in a photo taken at the exact moment that produced a playful scene on the set. The production took place in the United States in the mid-1940s, a period marked by major works of classic cinema. The photo shows Bertha Benz during her famous trip in 1888 in Germany, when she became the first woman to drive an automobile over a long distance. She made the journey to prove that the vehicle created by Carl Benz was practical for everyday use. The image later came to symbolize broader struggles for bodily freedom and women's mobility. The photo shows Anna Karina and Jean-Paul Belmondo on the set of the film A Woman is a Woman, made in Paris in the early 1960s. The image reflects the relaxed atmosphere of productions from the so-called French New Wave. The presence of the two actors symbolizes a phase in which French cinema explored freer stories and more experimental visuals. Sigourney Weaver appears on the set of Alien in 1978, wearing the simple outfit that would become one of her visual trademarks, especially the tank top associated with the character Ellen Ripley. Her strong and decisive performance helped redefine the role of female leads in action and science fiction films. Lisa Lyon appears in a 1979 photograph taken in the United States of America, recognized as one of the pioneers of modern women's bodybuilding. She helped popularize the sport by combining strength, technique, and performances that caught the public's attention. Her career opened doors for competitions that would emerge in the following decades.